First contact, first blood. The Valkyrie warship Eternal Dominance slid through the darkness of space, its obsidian hull absorbing, rather than reflecting, the distant starlight. On the command bridge, High Commander Zoreth examined the holographic display of the small blue-green planet that rotated slowly before him. His 6 eyes narrowed in contemplation as data streams flowed across the display. Another insignificant world, he rumbled, mandibles clicking in what his species considered amusement. Primitive technology, disunited political structures, and yet they've managed rudimentary space travel. Admiral Kelva, his second-in-command, stepped forward. The report indicates they've only had nuclear capabilities for less than 2 centuries, High Commander. Their most advanced weapons would barely scratch our secondary shields. And yet they show remarkable advancement for such a short evolutionary timeline. Zoreth noted. The Council requests we assess them more thoroughly before proceeding with standard conquest protocols. The Valkyrie Empire had spent the last 3 millennia expanding across the stars. 37 species had fallen before them, either annihilated or absorbed into their hegemony. Some fought with advanced technologies, others with numbers, but all eventually knelt before the Valkyrie might. It was simply the natural order of things, evolution on a cosmic scale. Prepare a scouting party, Zoreth ordered. I want detailed analysis of their defensive capabilities, resource distributions, and sociological structures. The Eternal Dominance will remain at the edge of their system until we've determined the most efficient conquest strategy. What the Valkyrie couldn't understand, was that humans had spent their entire existence learning to survive against overwhelming odds. It was coded into their DNA, woven through every strand of their being. On Earth, Ambassador Serena Hayes stood before the United Nations Security Council, her normally composed demeanor cracking under the strain of what she needed to report. Ladies and gentlemen, the signals we received from the Lunar Observatory weren't anomalies, she stated, her voice echoing through the chamber. First contact has occurred, but not how we imagined it. The alien vessel that entered our system last week has been monitoring us, and as of 12 hours ago, they've deployed smaller craft toward our outer colonies on Mars and the Moon. The chamber erupted in voices until Secretary General Okafor raised his hand for silence. Ambassador Hayes, what are their intentions? Have they communicated with us at all? Hayes shook her head. No direct communication. However, their scan patterns indicate military assessment rather than peaceful exploration. Dr. Rise at Lunar Base Armstrong was able to intercept and partially decode some of their transmissions. The translation is incomplete, but they repeatedly use terms consistent with conquest, subjugation, and resource extraction. The Security Council chamber fell silent. Humanity had long debated whether they were alone in the universe and what first contact might mean. This answer was now clear and terrifying. What options do we have? Asked the representative from India. General Marcus Blackwell, head of the newly formed United Earth Defense Force, stood up. Limited options at present. Our space-based defensive systems were designed to counter missiles and satellites, not advanced alien warships. But we've been preparing. He activated a holographic display showing a massive underground facility. Project Prometheus has been under development for 15 years, a joint program between 27 nations based on theoretical xenotechnology. We always hoped it would remain theoretical. The display showed massive humanoid machines, towering mechanical warriors that made everyone in the room draw a collective breath. These are our answer if diplomacy fails, General Blackwell continued. The Titans, designed to operate in space and atmospheric conditions, piloted by elite soldiers with neural interfaces that multiply human reaction time tenfold. You're suggesting we attack them? Asked the French representative, aghast. I'm suggesting we be ready when they attack us, Blackwell replied grimly. Ambassador Hayes has one more chance at diplomacy. After that, we stand ready to defend Earth by any means necessary. The diplomatic mission failed spectacularly. The Vicari didn't even bother to respond to Hayes' transmission requesting peaceful dialogue. Instead, they struck Lunar Base Armstrong with precision beam weapons, vaporizing the main habitat dome in seconds. 2,000 colonists died before they even knew they were under attack. Humanity's response was not what the Vicari expected. Dr. Elijah Chen, the brilliant physicist behind Project Prometheus, stood in the control room of the UEDF's underground mountain complex in Colorado. Sweat beaded on his forehead, despite the cool air. Neural interface active on all 5 prototype units, reported his assistant, Dr. Maya Ortiz. Pilots report synchronization levels at 92% and holding steady. That's higher than our simulations predicted, Chen muttered, adjusting his glasses. The adrenaline response must be enhancing the connection. On the main screen, 5 massive launch tubes extended from the mountainside, hidden from orbital surveillance by advanced camouflage technology. Inside each tube waited a Titan, a 50-meter-tall mechanical warrior, armed with weapons based on theoretical principles of physics that Dr. Chen had developed specifically for this moment he'd hoped would never come. The voice of General Blackwell came over the speakers. Operation Thunderbolt is greenlit. Launch in 3, 2, 1. The mountain shook as the Titans blasted into the sky, their exotic propulsion systems allowing them to reach escape velocity in under 90 seconds. Vicari sensors detected the launches immediately, but the alien commanders were perplexed by the readings. The energy signatures didn't match any known weapons system they'd encountered before. In orbit, the Vicari scout ships moved to intercept these strange new threats. Their tactical computers predicted a 99.8% probability of victory. They were wrong. Captain James Rivera, pilot of Titan 01, felt the machine around him as an extension of his own body. The neural interface translated his thoughts into actions at speeds no conventional control system could match. As the first Vicari interceptor approached, weapons charging, Rivera didn't hesitate. Engaging plasma lance, he reported calmly, though his heart raced. The Titan's right arm transformed, components shifting to form a massive spear of contained energy. Rivera thrust forward, and a lance pierced the Vicari ship's shields like they weren't even there. The alien vessel exploded in a burst of blue-green fire, shields ineffective against the plasma lance. Rivera reported. Moving to Target 2, all 5 Titans engaged the Vicari scout fleet. The aliens' superior numbers should have given them the advantage, but the human pilots fought with desperate ferocity, each knowing that Earth's survival hung in the balance. The Titans moved with impossible speed for their size, quantum-stabilized armor deflecting energy beams that should have vaporized them. On the command bridge of the Eternal Dominance, High Commander Zorath watched in disbelief as his scout fleet was decimated by these strange mechanical warriors. Impossible, he hissed, mandibles clicking rapidly in agitation. Their technology is primitive. Their weapons should be ineffective against our shields. Admiral Kelva's voice was tight with concern. The humans have developed technology specifically designed to counter our defenses. They must have been preparing for this encounter. Impossible, Zorath repeated. They couldn't have known about us. Perhaps they didn't know about us specifically, Kelva suggested, but they prepared for something like us. Their survival instinct is impressive. Zorath's anger subsided into cold calculation. These humans were more dangerous than anticipated, but the Vicari had conquered countless species before. This would simply require a different approach. Recall the remaining scouts, he ordered. Signal the fleet. We will proceed with full invasion protocols. In Earth's orbit, the human pilots watched as the remaining Vicari scouts retreated toward their massive mothership. Their first victory was won, but everyone knew the real battle was just beginning. All units, return to base. General Blackwell's voice came through their comms. We've bloodied their nose, but they'll be back, and in greater numbers. As the Titans descended, Dr. Chen stared at the data streaming in from the battle. The Vicari technology was even more advanced than they'd theorized, but the Prometheus systems had performed beyond expectations. Still, it wouldn't be enough against a full invasion force. "We need to accelerate the Prometheus protocol," he told Maya as they watched the Titans dock in their massive underground hangars. "These 5 units won't be enough." Maya looked troubled. "The protocol isn't ready, Elijah. The neural load could kill the pilots. If we don't deploy everything we have," Chen said quietly, "there won't be any pilots left to worry about." Across Earth, people watched news broadcasts showing fuzzy satellite images of the brief space battle. Some panicked, others prayed, but an unexpected reaction began to spread: determination. Humanity had stood against an alien threat and drawn first blood. They might be outmatched, but they would not go quietly. In underground facilities around the world, 20 more Titans were being prepared. Engineers worked around the clock, installing the experimental weapons Dr. Chen had designed. Volunteer pilots, the best from air forces around the world, underwent the painful neural interface surgery that would allow them to control these massive machines. As Captain Rivera stepped out of his Titan, exhausted but alive, he was met by Dr. Chen. "How does it feel?" Chen asked. Rivera took a moment before answering. "It feels like being a god," he said finally. "A god with the weight of humanity on his shoulders." Chen nodded. "Rest while you can, Captain. The real war begins soon." On the far side of the moon, the Vicari mothership sent out a signal that rippled through subspace. Within days, the full might of the Vicari Empire would arrive, and humanity would face the greatest challenge of its existence: Titans unleashed. The sky above Earth darkened as the Vicari fleet arrived. 300 warships, each larger than any vessel humans had ever constructed, arranged themselves in perfect geometric patterns around the planet. From the ground, they appeared as new constellations, harbingers of doom rather than navigational guides. In the UEDF command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Blackwell surveyed the holographic display showing the enemy positions. "They're not attacking immediately," he observed. "They're establishing a blockade." Dr. Chen nodded grimly. "Typical conquest strategy. Cut us off, then methodically destroy our defensive capabilities before landing ground forces." "How long until all 25 Titans are ready?" Blackwell asked. 12 are fully operational," Chen replied. "The remaining 13 are in final calibration. 24 hours, at most." Blackwell's expression darkened. "We may not have 24 hours." As if to confirm his fears, the comm system crackled to life. An alien voice, processed through translation software, filled the command center. "Inhabitants of Earth, this is High Commander Zoreth of the Vicari Empire. Your resistance has been noted. It changes nothing. Surrender now, and we will preserve a portion of your population as subjects of the Empire. Continue to resist, and we will burn your atmosphere and harvest your planet's resources from the ashes. You have 6 Earth hours to comply." Silence filled the command center. Then, slowly, Blackwell reached for the comm. "This is General Marcus Blackwell of the United Earth Defense Force. We've considered your offer, Zoreth, and here's our response. Humanity does not surrender. Not today. Not ever. You want our world. Come and take it." He cut the transmission and turned to his officers. "Launch all operational Titans. Initiate Prometheus Protocol Alpha." Dr. Chen hesitated. "General, the protocol isn't fully tested. The neural load." "We're out of options, Doctor," Blackwell interrupted. "It's time to show these aliens what humans are really capable of." Commander Maya Ortiz felt the neural interface connect as she settled into the control pod of Titan 08, codenamed Athena. The sensation was like diving into an ocean of electricity, disorienting at first, then exhilarating as her consciousness expanded to encompass the massive machine. "Neural sync at 94% and rising," reported the technician's voice in her ear. "Prometheus Protocol Alpha initializing." Maya felt a surge of energy as the protocol activated. The Titan's power core, a contained quantum singularity based on Dr. Chen's revolutionary theories, pulsed with new intensity. Her perception sharpened dramatically, time seeming to slow around her. "All Titan pilots," came General Blackwell's voice. "Your mission is simple but critical. Protect Earth at all costs. Godspeed." 12 launch tubes opened simultaneously around the globe, from the Rocky Mountains, the Ural Range, the Andes, Mount Fuji, and other hidden facilities. 12 Titans soared into the sky, their massive forms somehow graceful despite their size. In the lead Titan, Captain Rivera felt the enhancements of the Prometheus Protocol. His mind processed information at superhuman speeds, seeing patterns in the enemy formation that would have been invisible otherwise. "They're concentrating their heavy weapons on the northern hemisphere," he transmitted to the other pilots. "Teams 1 and 2 engage the command ships at these coordinates. Teams 3 and 4 run interference and protect our orbital defense platforms." The Titans split into their assigned groups, wielding weapons that defied conventional physics, plasma lances that pierced Valkyrie shields, gravity disruptors that crushed alien hulls, quantum phase torpedoes that existed in multiple states simultaneously until they detonated inside enemy vessels. High Commander Zorath watched in mounting rage as the human machines tore through his fleet's outer defenses. "Impossible," he snarled. "No primitive species should possess such technology." Admiral Kelva studied the battle data with growing concern. "Their weapons are specifically designed to counter our defenses. It's as if they've been studying us for decades." "Deploy the annihilator," Zorath ordered. "End this resistance now." From the belly of the Valkyrie flagship emerged a massive weapon, a planet killer that had rendered 12 worlds lifeless during the Empire's expansion. Its power core began to glow with sickly green energy as it charged. In Titan 08, Maya detected the energy buildup. "All units, priority target," she shouted over the comm. "They're powering up something big." Coordinates transmitted. The Titans converged on the annihilator, but Valkyrie escorts swarmed to protect it. Intense fighting erupted as the human pilots pushed their machines, and their own minds, to the limit. Rivera's Titan took a direct hit from a Valkyrie cruiser, the impact sending him spinning through space. Warning lights flashed across his neural interface as systems began to fail. "I'm hit," he reported. "Primary propulsion down." Attempting to compensate, Maya's voice came through clearly. "Hold on, James. We're coming to you." Her Titan moved with impossible speed, quantum fields redirecting enemy fire as she closed the distance. Behind her, 2 more Titans engaged the cruiser that had hit Rivera, their combined attack reducing it to expanding debris. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Chen monitored the neural feedback from the pilots with growing alarm. The Prometheus Protocol was enhancing their abilities beyond predicted levels, but at a cost. Their brain activity was approaching dangerous thresholds. "We need to throttle back the protocol," he told General Blackwell. "The pilots' minds can't sustain this level of integration much longer." Blackwell pointed to the holographic display where the annihilator continued to charge. "If that weapon fires, nothing else matters. They need to hold on a little longer." In space, Maya reached Rivera's damaged Titan, using her machine's arms to stabilize it. "I've got you," she said. "Systems diagnostic." "Core intact but weapons offline," Rivera replied, his voice strained. "Maya, my sensors can still scan that weapon. It's building up to something massive. Enough energy to potentially boil away our oceans." Maya made a split-second decision. "All Titans, focus fire on the annihilator's power conduits. I'm detecting fluctuations at these coordinates." The remaining Titans converge, braving intense defensive fire to reach the massive weapon. 3 more were disabled in the approach, their pilots ejecting in emergency pods that raced back toward Earth. Maya locked onto the coordinates Rivera had identified, a junction where the weapon's power systems showed vulnerability. Her Titan's arms reconfigured, forming a concentrated quantum lance. "Now," she shouted, and the remaining Titans fired simultaneously. The combined attack struck the Annihilator's weak point. For a moment, nothing happened. Then cascading explosions rippled across its surface as power systems overloaded. The massive weapon detonated in a blinding flash, taking 3 Valkyrie capital ships with it. On the command bridge of the Eternal Dominance, Zorath was thrown to the floor by the shockwave. Alarms blared as secondary explosions rocked nearby ships. "Impossible," he whispered, the word becoming a mantra of denial. "No species has ever destroyed an annihilator." Admiral Kelva helped him to his feet. "High Commander, we must reconsider our approach. These humans—" "No," Zorath roared. "I will not be defeated by primitives. Launch ground forces. We will take this planet piece by piece if necessary." Back on Earth, Dr. Chen watched with growing horror as Valkyrie dropships descended through the atmosphere. The Titans had scored a significant victory in space, but at terrible cost. Only 7 remained operational, and their pilots were reaching critical neural fatigue levels. "We need to activate Prometheus Protocol Omega," Chen said quietly. General Blackwell stared at him. "The Omega Protocol. It's untested. You said yourself it could be catastrophic." "It's our only remaining option," Chen replied. "The Valkyrie are landing troops. The Titans are almost spent. This is what the Omega Protocol was designed for." After a long moment, Blackwell nodded. "Do it." Chen moved to a secure terminal and entered a complex series of commands. Deep beneath the command center, something ancient and terrible awakened. "What exactly will this do?" Blackwell asked as Chen worked. "The Omega Protocol links all operational Titans into a single network, amplifying their quantum fields to create a planet-wide defense system," Chen explained. "But it requires a focal point, a mind to direct it." "And ho," Blackwell began, then understanding dawned. "No, Elijah, there has to be another way." Chen smiled sadly. "There isn't. The pilots are already at their limits. Someone with intimate knowledge of the system needs to serve as the focus. I built Prometheus. It should be me." Before Blackwell could protest further, Chen initiated the final sequence and stepped into a neural interface pod similar to those used by the Titan pilots. "Neural integration beginning," announced the automated system. "Prometheus Protocol Omega activating." Chen's consciousness expanded beyond human limits as he connected not just to one Titan, but to all 7 simultaneously. Through their sensors, he could see the Valkyrie dropships landing, alien troops deploying with terrifying efficiency. He could feel the strain on the pilots, Rivera, Maya, and the others, as they fought beyond exhaustion. "I'm linking you all together," Chen's voice echoed in each pilot's mind. "Don't fight it. Let me carry the load." The pilots felt their neural burdens lighten as Chen's consciousness supported theirs. Their Titans moved with renewed purpose, quantum fields extending and interacting in ways never before possible. High Commander Zorath watched in disbelief as his ground forces reported a new phenomenon. Some kind of energy field spreading from the human machines, disabling Valkyrie weapons and shields wherever it touched. "What is happening?" he demanded. No one had an answer. Nothing in the Empire's 3,000-year history had prepared them for this. On Earth, Chen directed the Titan network with perfect precision. The quantum fields expanded further, encircling the planet in a shimmering barrier. Valkyrie ships that tried to penetrate it found their systems failing, their weapons useless. "Elijah, your vital signs are critical." Blackwell's voice came through the interface. "You need to disengage." "Not yet," Chen replied, his voice eerily calm. "Almost done." Through the network, Chen identified the frequency underlying all Valkyrie technology, a quantum resonance that powered their ships, weapons, and communications. With perfect calculation, he adjusted the Prometheus field to generate a counter-frequency. Across Earth orbit, Valkyrie ships began to fail. Systems shut down, weapons went offline, shields collapsed. On the ground, alien troops found themselves suddenly immobilized as their powered armor seized up. In the neural interface pod, Chen's body convulsed as blood trickled from his nose and ears. His mind was spread too thin, burning out like a supernova. "It's done," he whispered. "Tell Maya. I'm sorry." In her Titan, Maya felt Chen's presence fade from the network. "Elijah." She called desperately. "Elijah." But there was no answer. Dr. Elijah Chen, the architect of humanity's salvation, was gone. His consciousness scattered across the quantum network he had created. High Commander Zoreth faced the unthinkable: defeat. For the first time in the Empire's history, a conquest had failed. His mighty fleet hung disabled in orbit, at the mercy of the human defenders. "High Commander," Admiral Kelva said quietly, "we must retreat while we still can." Zoreth stared at the blue-green planet on his view screen. "These humans, what are they?" "Something the Empire has never encountered before," Kelva replied. "Perhaps something the galaxy has never seen before." With bitter resignation, Zoreth gave the order to retreat. Those Vakari ships still capable of movement gathered the disabled vessels and began the long journey back to Empire space. 3 months later, Maya Ortiz stood before the United Nations, her dress uniform adorned with medals she felt she hadn't earned. The neural scars from the Titan interface were healing slowly, leaving her with occasional migraines and flashes of memory that weren't entirely her own. "The Vakari Empire has established a formal boundary at the edge of our solar system," she reported. "Our long-range probes indicate they're warning other species away from Earth's space. For now, at least, they've decided we're not worth the cost of conquest." Secretary General Okafor nodded gravely. "And the Prometheus technology?" "The Titans have been placed in standby," Maya replied. "The quantum barrier Dr. Chen created has stabilized into a self-sustaining defense network. Our scientists are still studying it. Much of the underlying principles were only in Chen's mind." She didn't mention the strange occurrences reported by the Titan pilots, moments when they felt an echo of Elijah's consciousness still present in the network, guiding them. Some things were too personal, too sacred to share. "We've gained something precious from this ordeal," Okafor said, addressing the assembly. "Unity. For the first time in our turbulent history, humanity stood as one against an external threat. Now we must decide what to do with this unity." Maya stepped down from the podium, her part in the formal proceedings complete. Outside the UN building, James Rivera waited for her, leaning on a cane, his body still recovering from the neural strain of piloting a Titan. "How did it go?" he asked as she approached. "They're already talking about expansion," she replied. "Building more Titans, exploring beyond our system." Rivera shook his head. "Always looking outward, aren't we? Never satisfied with what we have." "It's what makes us human," Maya said. "The drive to explore, to push boundaries. It's what saved us, what Elijah understood better than anyone." They walked slowly toward the memorial that had been erected in Central Park, a quantum steel sculpture representing the Titans that had defended Earth. At its center was a holographic image of Dr. Elijah Chen, rotating slowly above an eternal flame. As they approached, the hologram seemed to focus on Maya for a moment, the expression shifting subtly into something like recognition. A coincidence, surely, or perhaps something more. "Do you think they'll come back?" Rivera asked, gazing up at the sculpture. "Eventually," Maya replied. "But when they do, they'll find we're not the same species they underestimated before. Elijah gave us more than just a defense system. He gave us a future." Above them, unseen but ever-present, the quantum barrier shimmered around the Earth, a testament to human ingenuity and sacrifice, and a warning to the galaxy. They brought hell to Earth's doorstep. Humanity answered with something far worse: its indomitable will to survive.